This is a re-release of a podcast originally recorded in 2012, an interview with Maverick that lasted almost 2.5 hours. We've divided it into 2 separate parts to make it easier for you to listen to. This is part 2.
You didn't miss anything.
No, you didn't. So yeah, I'm going to ask.
Okay, good.
Okay. So Eric, let's talk about the King of Wrestling. The first ever King of Wrestling. Are you ready for that? Alright, so...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I'm remembering your list of opponents, because what I want to do is, we have 2 of them here, so I kind of want to get a perspective from both sides on this.
3.
Your opponents... 3, right, my bad. I always forget about you, Jeff. Anyway, we have Haley, Alan Scott, Cian McCormick, if I'm not mistaken, and then myself. Did you fight Cian McCormick?
That's right.
That's correct? Okay.
Well, if that's what you want to call it, yeah.
Well, okay. we'll get to that. Okay, so your first match was...
Stabby, it's over.
Your first match was with Haley, right?
Yes.
What did you think going into the match? Did you think you were going to body Haley, or what were your thoughts?
I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit. Did I think I was going to what, Haley?
Body Haley.
Finger her?
Like, completely destroy her.
No, not at all. If I remember correctly, I actually handpicked Haley.
Yeah, you did.
Wow.
That I knew that if I could get past Haley, that I had a real shot.
You know,
So
that's funny.
Haley was
That's
your
funny,
test.
Eric, because that's exactly what I did when I handpicked my first round opponent, who I knew was going to no show.
He admits it. Oh.
No, I had a good feeling he would, but I wasn't sure.
Oh, how douchey.
Hey, I do remember even telling Jeff, said, Jeff, I'll enter, but as long as I get to handpick my first opponent.
I do recall that, and I recall saying to you, if you pick Stryfe and he no-shows, I will know the fix is in.
But I actually, in my defense, I actually did message him and ask him, dude, are you going to show up for our match this weekend? And he did get back to me, I think the day before, and said, I don't know, I'm not sure how it's looking. So, who am I to get in God's plan?
So Jason, did you think you were going to kick the shit out of Storm?
No, I definitely thought, I was annoyed that he picked me. I was hoping for an easier first round opponent with my first. I'm all about the easy road.
But wait a minute. At the time, did you have even chance as your backup?
Did I have what?
Even chance. They were your backup.
You're the third hot girl, remember?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Yes.
They were your backup. You should have been able to take it, right?
I don't remember.
Just so you guys know, we've dropped Eric. He's having trouble with that cell, so it'll auto dial him back in. Just be prepared.
It's the hurricane.
We have to get it. The next time we get him on, we'll figure out a better solution because the cell's not working.
Well, in the meantime, keep talking, Jason.
Oh, no problem. I was really hoping for an easier opponent. The 2 guys I didn't want to face were him and Jeff. I at least wanted it was my first big tournament in FedEx. You know, I've won numerous amounts of RP titles in wrestle, but I knew just by looking at the field it was going to be a tough draw no matter which way. So when he picked me, I was like, oh shit, and I knew the run he was making with I think it was with the Superstar title and all that. And I'll admit, when I lost, my initial response was, fuck, I didn't think I lost that. I think I should have won. But looking back, if a few days passed, I realized where I lost it. So I was fine with it.
So was there a point in the match where you realized that he overwhelmed you?
No, there was definitely no overwhelming. He stated earlier that we were pretty much going post for post, trying to outdo each other, and it was pretty much like that. I felt I left a few openings, which I shouldn't have, which I think he took full advantage of and pretty much sealed the deal with, I think, his last 2 posts, which were stronger than mine from what I recall.
All right, Eric, you with us?
I hear the hurricane, but not him. Is that a train?
It does sound kind of like a train.
We just dropped them again.
Right, well, that's okay.
We gave
Jason.
him the old sleeper.
Jason, just pretend you're him, and I'll ask you the questions.
Where's my Dr. Pepper?
How long was I out for?
Where'd I go? Every time his call drops, let's just start snoring. Oh! Look at my big breast implant stomach.
Wait, Jason, did you tell them everybody wants to have sex with a stomach?
No, I was saving that for later on in the show, actually.
Okay, we'll wait till he accesses, and then he'll know that you and I went over and train.
We'll have to try another way next time we connect with them. Maybe I'll pick up a credit and just call them on a landline.
It smells like old man.
I have old man breath on me.
I thought I was dead.
Are you with us now, Eric?
Eric.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Dude, I don't know what's going on. This is the second time my phone's ringing and ringing. You can't hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you
I can hear
now.
you now.
Okay, I don't know what's going on. The phone will suddenly just start like it's ringing and telling me it's not gonna. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. But going back to what was said about the Haley match, I do think it was a matter of it was a great match of spin control. He saw what I was doing, I saw what he was doing. It was just a matter of who spun what direction. It was very tough. I thought he won.
So when you got the final decision, you thought that the judge was wrong?
I was happy that I won. I thought I knew it was going to be close, but and on the last day, I felt like he was beating me to the punch on spin control.
So you thought you were losing? Because that's funny, because Jason just said he thought he was losing.
Yeah, well, initially I thought I should have won, like I said. But then,
Actually, well, I'll give you an eye. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, all I said was initially I thought I won, but when I went back and read the match and let my took my ego out of it, I knew that you won. You definitely finished. I thought you finished stronger than I did on the last couple of posts, and just overall.
Okay. Eric, going on to your next opponent, I believe you faced Cian McCormick, who was part of the system, and I think one of Matt McDermott's friends, if I'm not mistaken. Did you know anything about him before the match?
I did know about him before the match. I had him in a couple of my feds back in WrestleNet, and he was not your average role player by any means. You know, he was kind of sometimes he'd kind of go out there on a limb, so to speak. Thought I was going to have a really good match, and I just watched that whole. As a matter of fact, he was the only person in the entire tournament that I knew I beat before we got the judges' remarks. I thought
Really?
I lost every match I was in except for Alan. But in that match, I knew I won. I mean, the guy stabbed me in the chest with a shank and then describes in vivid detail how he pretty much eviscerated my character. You know, I mean, really? That's the best you could come up with. I knew I had it right there. As a matter of fact, I told Jeff on several occasions, I can't believe I sold my character walking around being in 2 more matches with a chest wound that should have killed him.
Do you think he was just trolling the event and trolling you and not really putting forth effort?
I've seen him put forth way better effort than he put forth. Yeah, I felt like I had a bye. Honestly, to me, he put in no effort in it.
Cian McCormick is on blast, wherever he is. Okay, is Cian McCormick free? Is he free? Just say yes, Eric.
Yeah.
He's free. Okay, that's good. So after that, you faced me in the semifinal, and from my end of things, I just come out of a match with Carnage, and before Carnage, I had Harry. So, I mean, two former OWCs were what I was going up against from the beginning, and then I had you, and I was offshore at the time, so I was running off this really shitty landline, this really shitty line that I had to plug into the wall. The internet was slow as dick, and I was exhausted just from the constant balls to the wall nature of the event. And I thought right from the beginning that you were going to take it, honestly. And the biggest problem I was having was trying to figure out how to wrestle Storm when he had a chest wound.
Well, you're not the only one, because I was having a real problem figuring out how the hell I was going to wrestle with the freaking gaping stomach one myself. Yeah, as far as our match, I had listened to the previous two podcasts, and I meant to mention this to you before we got done tonight, that I really appreciated the comments you had about the matches that we've had. I really did. That match. Honestly, I did feel like I was in the driver's seat for most of it until you're getting the thing again.
No, we're good. Keep
Can
going.
you hear me? Okay.
Keep going. You're touching the driver's seat. Go on.
I felt that I had been in the driver's seat most of the match. I could tell you were off. Because you and I have had enough matches. I can tell when you're on and when you're off. But I honestly believed in my heart that I shot myself in the foot when I came out, and I'm sitting here thinking, and it's the last day, and I'm going, what can I do to totally blow people away? I know. I'm going to say that Maverick's son with Kitty is actually not Maverick. It's Rude's. And I did that, and I thought, bam, I nailed you to the wall. There's no way you could. And then you posted it, and I read that post, and I went, holy shit, I'm sunk.
You talking about the last one of the match?
The last two posts you did after I did the reveal about Maverick's son actually being Rude's. You took that in a direction that I totally, in a million years, would have never anticipated you taking it. And I honestly, with all my heart, believe that that post alone should have taken that match for you. I honestly thought I lost to you.
Well, I was talking to Mike, who was one of the judges at the time. It was the last post of the match, and he was telling me that of all my scores for each post, that was probably my highest. And I'll be honest with you, as far as every post in that match goes, that one was the easiest to write. When you gave me the sun thing, as soon as I read it, my mind just took over, and I just knew exactly what to put down. And I kind of wish I would have taken more advantage of the turn after the time, but it was after the event, and I was kind of burnt out, so I just kind of killed it off again. But no, it was really phenomenal, the whole experience. And at the time, I was a little butthurt because I wanted to win. Obviously, I think we all do at that point. But I mean, I was pretty much following your lead the whole time, so you deserved that win there. Definitely.
Yeah. I gotta be honest, and it's about respect. I mean, I'll be honest, and Jordan again can attest to this. We've been friends for a long time, but we've had our share of arguments. We've had our share of disagreements. We've had our share of times when we wouldn't even talk to each other.
Yes.
But I respect him. I respect his his individuality, the person that he is, and I respect his work. And that post literally blew me away because I knew I was rolling the dice. But what he came out with just totally shocked me to the point where I thought, holy shit, I just handed him a win. I just gave him the keys to the Grand Prix, and he's going to the show. And it was amazing. It was some of my personal opinion, some of Rude's best work. As far as Rude is concerned, and I know I'm jumping off on a little bit of a tangent here because I actually, since we had this opportunity to talk, I wanted to bring some of this stuff up. I've had conversations with Jeff about your characters, and I got to tell you, Rude, I'm okay with Rude. I wish we could see more guys from you though, like Homicide and Nigel Crawley. I thought Nigel was one of your best characters ever. I think for you as Rude, it's kind of like for me and Storm. He fits you so easy that sometimes it doesn't take that much effort to write. And I see such a depth of character in the other two guys that you've used before. I would love to see more of them, but hey, Rude is Rude too. You got to have him around. I understand that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I've
Speaking
always
of Nigel
respected the
Crowley,
stuff you've done.
Speaking of Nigel Crowley, how pissed were you when you found out that was me after you lost to me twice? Because I remember you got on Messenger to me before you knew, and you said, "I don't get it, Jordan. I've beaten Alan, I've beaten Rude, I've beaten all these people, but I can't beat Nigel Crowley. Not with Storm, not with Shaun. I don't fucking get it." Like you lost your shit, dude. It was great.
You're right, I did. And I'm going to tell you why. And again, this is not a personal thing. I'm just being honest. Right? Rude is all about shock and awe. You know what you're getting with Rude. You know what's coming with Rude. Most of the time. Sometimes you don't. Like when when you came out with that one post, didn't see that, but you kind of know what you got with Rude. You've got that thermometer where you can gauge with him. Nigel was a whole other animal. There was just complexity. Your writing with Rude is very brutal, and it's kind of like it's just kind of like if you had a seismograph line, it's kind of steady with Rude. But you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But with Nigel or even Homicide, I mean, there's more depth to those characters. They're not just. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna stick you in this and make you feel pain. Nigel was a complicated character, and it did. I couldn't beat him. So.
No, before
when I found out, I'll be honest, I was pissed when I lost to him, but when I found out it was you, I really wasn't pissed. I felt better when I found out it was you because I thought I was getting beat by someone.
And we've dropped him again.
That's okay though, Jeff, because this gives me an opportunity to ask you about what you were thinking going into facing Storm in the final.
They're gonna snort out.
Because before that you had Hooligan and Aaron Action and someone else.
Old Spice.
I think Eric's back with us again.
Eric, you with us, buddy?
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. You said something. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with my phone.
No, it's okay. I'm asking Jeff his thoughts about going into the final with you. We're moving on to the final. So yeah, Jeff, you faced Hooligan, Aaron Action, Storm, and a fourth person I can't think of at the top of my head.
Genocide.
Oh yeah, of course I forget him. See, look at that, all the scrubs. Anyway, what did you think about your trip to the final, and what were your thoughts going into this thing with Storm?
Well, Hooligan was my Stryfe. I mean, he barely showed up, and he didn't give me what he's capable of giving me. So the first round wasn't a test, it wasn't a primer, it wasn't a warm-up, and it didn't help me get ready for the next round. Randy's a different challenge because when it comes to moving along wrestling in a wrestling concept, he's really good. The advantage I had was that Randy was so tied up, I think, in that match. I think both of the judges came back and said, he was so busy working the angles that he wasn't engaging in the action. And I just flat out beat him on the action. And then I went in and I dealt with Genocide the same way I deal with Geno every time we have to have a match, which is I went in thinking whichever one of us finds the big button and hits it properly wins. And I knew it was going to be a struggle. And frankly, I still look back on it as one of the closest matches I've ever been in. That match with Geno and Alan is really, really solid. It's got twists and turns and character development and interaction and backstory and ring action and creativity. I mean, I really wasn't positive until I got the MSN message from Jason saying, my wife just saw the post where Grayson swerved everybody and joined the Instant Karma Initiative. She says you won. And I kind of looked at it and I was like, yeah, I feel pretty good about that post because I don't think anybody really saw it coming at that point. But I think it made sense and it worked. So going into the match against Eric, I was on a high. I felt like I had come off a really tough match with Geno, and I'd been able to come through. And really, I was feeling wound up. I felt like I was on my game after that match. But I also knew that Eric was doing some of the best writing I'd ever seen from him. I'd be lying if I didn't say that I thought I had an edge. Eric and I have had matches before, and regardless of what the judges said, we both have agreed that I won those matches. I felt good about having an understanding of the character I was going to face. I felt good about the fact that I understood how Eric would approach the match. Going in, I was in a good place because I had to fight Geno. I think if I'd had another match like I'd had in the first round, I'd have gone in a lot more uncertain, because watching Eric roll through some of the guys he rolled through, I wasn't, Geno was the only one that was really at the top of their game. I think Randy was a little off of his, and Hooligan didn't even bring his game.
Eric, what did you think going into it?
No, I'm here. I'm sorry. You broke up, and I was expecting to hear the ringing again. I'm sorry. What did you say?
What did you think going into the final against Alan? Like, before anything happened, what were your thoughts going into the match?
My thoughts at that point, I had got past Haley. I had somehow got past you. Because at this point, I was still believing that last post had won it for you. But I also know that I had set a record with the longest superstar title reign at that time, which was no easy task. And I felt in a groove. And I fought, because I've told Jeff this on several occasions, that I do not believe I have what it takes to beat him. But this match, at that time, we had both talked to each other and hoped that we would wind up in the final, because it would have been a perfect culmination to the feud we'd been having. And when I found out it was going to be me and him, I honestly felt like I was in such a groove at that moment that I could beat him. And I went into that match with the full idea that I was going to win.
So you knew you were going to beat him. Okay.
I don't want to say I knew. I felt strongly. Normally, when I'm in a match with Jeff, I do not believe I'm going to win it. I don't have matches with Jeff that are about wins or losses. When I have a match with Jeff, I'm wanting to tell a story, because nobody, and I mean absolutely no one, brings out the best in me the way Jeff's characters do. Nobody. Other people have brought out the good side of me, but nobody makes me bring my A game like Jeff. So there have been many instances where we've had matches. I didn't care about winning. I wanted our story to be epic. I wanted it to, when we were done, somebody to be like, that was amazing. I didn't care about winning, but this one instance, I felt that I honestly could beat him.
All right. So we can agree that this final was pretty controversial, both on the boards and behind the scenes. Let's talk about that controversy from both sides. What did you guys think about the first day of action, Eric? Day one.
Day one, I shot myself. Well, I think it was day one. I'm pretty sure it was day one that I shot myself in the foot. I committed the ultimate no-no. I committed the ultimate breach of etiquette. I broke kayfabe. Let's put it that way. I was working, and I had to get my posts up, and I knew Jeff was working, and he hadn't got his post in, and I didn't know if I was going to have enough time to get him in. And coming up with something.
You're breaking up, Eric. Hold on. Start over.
I decided to bring it.
This is going great.
And when I did it, I didn't think much of it. But about a half an hour later, I don't know how much of it.
I think he's cutting in and out.
Yeah.
And he just dropped.
Okay.
We know what he was
Yeah.
going to talk about, right? He was at work, and he and I've had this conversation, and he was feeling the pressure, and he didn't know when I was going to post or whether he'd be able to get back and post afterwards. So he brought Alan to the ring, and every one of the judges hammered him for it because he took the entrance and made the decision that I was done setting up and that I was ready to come to the ring, and he did that post, and I think he knew almost immediately that tactically and scoring wise that was an error, a problem.
Okay, now, wasn't there a point in day one you brought in Stranger X and then nothing happened?
I think we had a little bit of back and forth on that issue. If I remember correctly, he used X to do something. Oh, you with us, Eric?
Where was
I think so.
Welcome back. Jeff just summarized for us about the rush into the ring, and now I'm asking him about Stranger X. He introduced Stranger X, and then nothing came of Stranger X for a bit.
I honestly, and I'm not trying to make this conversation any shorter by saying this, but I can honestly tell you with no uncertain, I shot myself in the foot day one, and I knew I shot myself in the foot by bringing his character to the ring. And from then on, it was a desperate scramble to try to redeem the screw-up that I had created. So I did a lot of stupid shit. I did a lot of dumb shit in that match because I was trying to shock everybody into forgetting about the stupid move I made. So I did stuff like, I think I had Geno throw Alan off the side of the tower at one point. Yeah,
Yep.
it was just full of dumb shit because as soon as I figured out what, and the funny thing was, is Jeff came and he's like, dude, what are you doing? And I'm like, whatever, I need to get my post in, because I was so angry with the fact that I was dumb enough to do that I was angry at everybody. When I should have been angry at myself. And then it was, like I said, it was just a desperate scramble. I think I did something really stupid, like, I can't remember the exact, and Jeff can give you better detail, but Stranger X came out and said something, and then I turned around and I had him say something completely different. It was absolutely retarded on my part.
Okay, Jeff?
I feel like, listen, Eric's being a pretty good guy and trying to take a lot of the underlying heat that was going on in that match on himself, and that was classic white heat for you, Jordan. But the truth is, when he took my entrance, he pissed me off, and there was definitely like an undertone of pissiness through the rest of that match from both of us. Between both of us, yes. Absolutely.
I don't believe that for a second. Jeff has never gotten pissed off about a match or the game.
You know what? I'm pissed off at you right now. We're gonna drop you from the call. No one will even notice.
There'll be less clicking. There'll be less clicking if he's dropped.
That's right.
Okay, so how about closing in on the match? Because I remember that's when you guys pulled out your big shockers. Eric with Saber, and Jeff, what did you do? I don't remember.
I don't know that I pulled anything particularly huge. I had a couple of guys. I think, if I remember correctly, both Lane Flack, who was Diggsy Brown, and maybe Ryan Scott showed up as well.
Ryan did. Yeah, you're right.
Right. So Alan's cousin and his original New Breed partner both showed up for that match, and they were my kind of surprise moments. Only I didn't write those, so they didn't go to my scoring. I had both of them actually come in and participate because really I was hoping we could rope one of them or both of them back into playing a little bit.
And Eric, what were your last day surprises?
Honestly, I don't even remember. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I remember. At that point, I was just grasping at straws and trying to do anything. I mean, honestly, and I'll out myself. I was so pathetic with the fact that I was so desperate to win it, and I was actually pointing out a minor nose cell that Jeff had, hoping that was going to detract from my major league screw up on day one. Yeah, I put myself on blast. Sorry, I have to, because I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it didn't happen. I was a little schoolgirl bitch after I lost that match for about 4 days.
Look, that makes you a very awesome person for that. Now, speaking of the match, as we all know, Alan Scott won it. However, what if Alan Scott had lost? What if you had won? What would have happened?
Alan would have died in the ring, and then I would have thrown a massive rage fit and tried to play a secondary character for like 3 weeks, and then I'd have quit playing.
I was asking
That
Eric.
sounds true. Okay, look. I would like to settle in, and I know I don't have to, I know Jeff knows what I'm talking about. So
I do. I'm just
for all
teasing.
the people out there, I know he is, and for all the people out there who thought, oh look, Storm died and he's leaving because he's pissed. I got news for you.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to kill him because I thought it was the only thing I could possibly do, considering if you really look back at those matches and take into account all, wrestling's fake, whatever. You count all the damage he took, including getting stabbed, and I thought the only natural course was to get rid of him, because I had said to Jeff previously, I would like to see if I can catch lightning in a bottle twice, because I've had other characters that haven't been so bad, but nobody likes Storm, and I wanted to see if I could do it twice. So I figured, Jeff writes in, hey, Storm's not breathing. Now's a good time to kill him off. And I remember Jeff and I having a conversation. Are you absolutely sure you want to do this? And at the time, I was, because I was so burned out. I just couldn't stomach the thought of writing more posts. It was not fueled by me being angry that I lost, because by then I was over it. I just thought that if you accounted everything Storm had been through and the natural progression of the matches and what happened with him and Alan saying that he's not breathing, his death was the only that was the only possible outcome. So
Okay.
I didn't kill him off because I was pissed.
So if you had won, Storm still would have died.
Yeah, didn't you kind of write yourself into a corner? How can you win the match when you died? That's what I never got.
Okay, that's a good question. Had I won, I don't think I don't know what I would have done. I don't know. I actually may have done the same thing, because I just can't get past the line. He's not breathing, and I mean, you take into account all the damage he suffered. I told Jeff, a week before we had that match, this guy should be dead. I probably would have killed him anyway.
All right.
And I'm being honest.
All right. So you don't regret killing Storm?
When I did it, no.
Now.
About 2 months later, yeah. Because I remember Jeff and I talking, he's going, hey, you should come back. I'm like, I can't, I killed Storm. And then they came up with that little concoction of,
Legion.
him going, getting taken to hell and being tortured in hell and all that stuff. And because I remember you had actually made a comment, Jordan, about there's no way in hell Storm would have gone to heaven. And you know what? You're right. You're right. It looked like he went to heaven, but thanks to Jeff's creativity, he didn't actually go to heaven. He got tricked into walking right into hell.
So the devil swerved him?
Yeah. That's what it wound up being, yeah, basically. And I think it played out wonderfully. I thought it was awesome the way they came back, and I thought the whole thing with the, Pariah and all that stuff, I thought that was really awesome, actually.
Okay. I have a couple more questions for you, and then we'll jump into some word association, all right?
Okay.
Okay, now, Karmic Legacy, that was your team with Emmisary and Storm, correct?
Yes. Yes.
How did that come about, and what did you think of it?
Sorry, I had to wet my whistle there. Emmisary and I had been playing together for a while, and I'd had him in my feds before, and I always liked his style. And we were having a match, and it came up, hey, what if we do this? What if we have these matches and then we swerve everybody and find out that we've been working together this whole time? The Instant Karma initiative, obviously, that was his brainchild. I added Nathan Kane to it and kind of took off running with it. And then he disappeared, and it really kind of just fell into my lap. I mean, I just took something he made and ran with it. But I enjoyed the karmic legacy thing. I enjoyed walking around with Storm being brainwashed to the point where he thought doing wrong was actually doing right. He honestly believed that everything he was doing was the right thing to do, regardless of how heinous it actually was. I actually enjoyed playing, with him and running that storyline. It was really fun.
I remember at the time I was pretty butthurt about it because I was one of the Swerves. However, looking back, it was a very good heel angle. I'll definitely say that. Which leads to my next thing. After Storm died, you brought in Shaun Justice. What do you think about Shaun Justice? Is he overrated, or did he never reach his potential?
A lot of it's going to sound like I'm just, Jeff was my teacher. I can't, deny it, and I'm not going to leave these things out. Jeff had a lot of input as far as Shaun was concerned. I was happy with Shaun. I liked the progression coming in. Rookie, just learning the ropes. I would have him make rookie mistakes. I would have him do stupid stuff. And then we started to develop his background. And, he's the illegitimate child of Jason Storm. And, he winds up growing up in an orphanage. And there's this one particular priest that takes an interest to him and kind of becomes his father figure. But unbeknownst to Shaun, it was actually Nighthawk, and he didn't know that.
Did Nighthawk touch Shaun?
Yeah.
Jason, chime in.
Well, you'd have to ask Nighthawk that out.
Oh, wow.
I think that Shaun kind of got pigeonholed a little bit because of the fact that I revealed that he was Storm's son, and a lot of people, some people were, oh, you're just Storm's kid. Other people, for instance, and I believe Rude was one of them, would point out that, well, your dad didn't love you. Your dad didn't do that. I mean, you played on his inner feelings, and that's something that a lot of people didn't grasp on that they could have. And again, I had Shaun fall victim to the natural progression of things. He wanted a feud with Ed. He wanted to prove to Ed that he was tough. He wanted Ed's respect. So he did what he had to do to get that match, which included turning on the one person who took him under his wing, which was Genocide. And after Ed did a number on Shaun's knees to win the match, Geno came out and attacked him with a chair and brutally beat his kneecaps to like oblivion. So I took the natural progression of things and said, well, shit, if that's what he's gonna do, then this kid's gonna be crippled. And that's how I kind of played it out. And that's why Shaun disappeared. I had every intention of bringing Shaun back. I just haven't got around to it yet.
Now, I'd like to point out that you actually wrote that post, Eric. I wrote the post. Starting it, I was doing the Geno's employee review, and I was just going to smack him around a little bit. But you actually followed up the post with the brutal kneecap beating. That was actually you.
Yes, you did. I think you hit me once in the kneecaps, and then I just took it and ran with it.
Yeah.
Well, because you and I had talked, this is something that Geno and I had talked about behind closed doors, was that what if we get this, have this really big feud with, have Geno injure Shaun, and then later, I don't remember how we progressed it, and maybe you can refresh my memory, but we had actually toyed with the idea of me playing Jason Miller, or James Miller,
Right.
and him playing Shaun Justice. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm not sure how it got to that point, but
I like Shaun.
I don't know if I was exactly expecting it to happen. I think that's something you might have just ran with.
Okay. Another Shaun-related question. What was Shaun Justice's best moment?
The match with Acid Ed. Absolutely.
Okay. That's good. All right, one more question, then I'm going to jump to the word association. What are the talents in the game that you believe you are personally responsible for bringing up and promoting?
Oh, man. Well, let me think here. I can think. This is based.
Go ahead.
Oh, Well, I'm just gonna. I mean, I don't. I don't want to say I take responsibility for anyone, just because. Yeah. Okay. Because I wanted somebody in my set. I won't say that I brought anybody up and like groomed them or helped them become a better role player. I just know what kind of role play I like. I know what kind of characters I like, character development, people who really, know their characters, i.e. why when I had a set, I would sign Ed or Alan or Geno or Rude or, XS or Haley or, holy crap, what was his name before Manowar, before he was Alan Scott's brother, Manowar. Guys like, Emmisary. I just know what I like. I wouldn't say that I actually brought anybody up and nurtured them and made them better. I certainly had nothing to do with it. I mean, I just know what I liked, and that's who I kind of collected for my feds.
Well, I can call you a dirty liar there, sir, because do you remember a Fed in CSN called ICOW?
Yes.
Do you remember that you were in it as Inferno, and I was also in it as my first character, Jordan Zombie? Do you remember this yet?
Oh, absolutely. I remember, Jason, of course.
Yes, you were. When you first encountered me, I was doing like these long, one-paragraph sized posts that didn't have any kind of spacing or structure. Do you not recall that?
I believe you if you say it. I don't honestly remember because I try to put iCal out of my mind.
Well, iCal happened, sir, and I ran into Inferno, and we had a huge feud. Do you remember the feud?
Yes, actually, I do remember a little bit of that, yeah.
Yeah, it was that feud that showed me how to play the game correctly and showed me, how to feud. And
Thanks,
from
Eric.
there on, hey, it's all him, man. And from there on, if I'm not mistaken, when I went to CGW and you were there, you, Homicide, and a few other people made this thing called the Commission, which I was a part of. Yes,
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
one of the members of the Commission.
Yeah.
You brought me into that after I'd run the paces in iCal, learning from you. So I can say now the game has me because of you. Well, you and the OD, but mostly you. So there's that.
Well, I you know what, dude, I really appreciate that. But, I do. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But, you bring all your talent to the table, man. I mean, hell, that's why I wanted Rude and all my feds, and that's why I liked you. I mean, hell, if I was a commissioner right now, I'd probably be begging you to bring back Nigel.
Eric told me you were mad when I left to go to UCE. But, no, I'm just busting balls. Anyway,
Okay.
Word Association, you ready?
Go for it.
Alan Scott.
Alan Scott. Awesome.
Okay. Kitty Hawk.
Oh, man.
My lost love.
Oh, God.
We're going to get into that more, but Kitty Hawk.
Oh, Jesus. I have to go with two words on this one. One for the person behind the game.
Mm-hmm.
Good friend. In game. Quitter.
Do you have a kitty quit story?
Who doesn't? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean, man, because the guy's my friend and I really like him a lot. He's a nice guy, but I mean, the only time that he ever felt like quitting and that I felt like he had a legitimate beef was, I believe it was in the first or the second OWC when he faced Max. And everybody, including Max, said Kitty won. And the guy that was judging the match actually put it just point blank, was blatant about, I don't like Kitty, so she didn't win. Other than that, I've heard about stories. I've seen stories, where he's quit. And dude, you need to grow a thicker skin, man. That's all I can say.
Okay, so you have any other interesting kitty quit stories besides that one?
Yeah, your favorite.
Yeah, your favorite.
Oh, well, shit, man. I wasn't around for most of the time he quit. I don't know. Refresh my memory, and I might go, oh, yeah, I remember what you're talking about now. Because, I mean, honestly, he's quit a lot.
Didn't Did he bring Kitty back for the Johnny Root trial and then quit after Maverick and Kitty had like a big argument on the boards? They were arguing about their marriage.
Yeah. Aren't you talking about the time when I did that stupid shit where I had him painted up like the Joker? Is that
Yes. Yes.
That was fucking retarded, dude. Oh my god.
Why did you do that?
Because I like you want to know why? Because I like the picture of the Joker. That was the only reason I did.
Dude, you were fucking committed to that too, dude. You would not give it up.
Well, because honestly, it was. Well, think about it, man. I mean, you and Kitty kind of play the same kind of, this self-loathing character who doesn't care, who does these things. And I never really played a character like that. And I have to admit, as retarded as it was fun playing Maverick like a psycho.
Fair enough.
It was still stupid. It was lame as shit.
Yes, it was.
That.
But don't worry, Jason's going to talk to you about your lame moves in just a second. Okay, back to thing. Sleeper holds.
What?
That's a good one. All right,
Sounds like
Nambla.
old man pee.
Nambla.
Chevy's favorite organization?
Okay. Firefly.
The TV show?
Yes.
The most epic fucking TV show ever, and fuck Fox for taking it off the air.
Okay. Tipsies.
Wait, who?
Tipsies.
I don't even know what the hell that is.
Oh no.
Oh, that's a shame.
What the hell is that? I don't know what that is. I'm out of the loop, dude. I don't know.
We'll send Big Ray over. He'll tell you all about it.
Oh shit. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Next word.
Okay. Well, this is 2 words. Kegel exercises.
The Kegel exercises. Something I wish my wife would stop doing.
That's awesome. All right, 2 more. Best ever.
Best ever. Well, I've been kissing his ass all night long, so I'm going to continue to kiss it and say my personal favorite ever, Nighthawk.
Ugh.
Nighthawk? Not like Acid Ed or Nighthawk?
No, if I had to make, if you said top 5, I could rattle some off. But if you're asking me best ever, the one character that always seemed to inspire me was Nighthawk.
Okay.
Jason too.
Fair enough. Worst ever.
Do we have another hour? Pikachu. Anybody who bases their character off a fucking yellow rat should be dragged out in the street and shot in the back of the head.
Damn.
But that black kid knows how much I hate him. I really wish he's the only person on the planet I wish would get hit by a truck.
Is there a story behind this, or is it just general loathing of him playing a rat?
Because he annoys the shit out of me, because it's the worst character thing I've ever... I mean, it's almost as intelligent as, I don't know, fighting a toaster or a fucking dog or, I mean, really?
Hey, a dog on the UWC.
Well, I mean, it's a game based on wrestling, right? I'm supposed to sell myself as a 6 foot tall dude fighting a guy that's a foot tall? Really?
I thought Toaster was kind of funny though too.
Yeah, Toaster was kind of cool actually. And Mittens.
Mittens was cool. I liked Mittens, yeah. If you do it right and you have talent, maybe you can get over, but Pikachu has none of those, so whatever.
Fair enough. All right, so Jason, you have Ask XS stuff coming up, so I'm going to pass them over to you.
Thank you. I'm Eric.
Yes.
Yeah, so these are some serious questions, of course. As you know.
Okay.
As you know, I'm capable of. So, I want to ask you, and normally the format of Ask XS is we take questions from all these lovely listeners and people around who you're talking to. But tonight, it started off a little different. These are questions that Johnny XS would ask you.
Okay.
All right? Okay, first
All
question.
right.
First question he has is, did you kind of feel gay when you had to message people and ask them not to make fun of you when you were going through the whole Mav emo saga with Kitty? When people in the Fed were making fun of you and you had asked a few people to stop? Did you feel
Yeah.
down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you?
Can't. I can't really expand on it. I mean, it was just like I said, man. It was a shitty time in my life that I wish I could forget. But at the time, the last thing I needed was flack from people. So yeah, it kind of pissed me off and it sucked. But whatever. What's done is done. I can't change it now.
No.
Would you consider yourself Cremo?
Oh my God, dude! Not unless I was kicked in the head by a mule and suddenly developed Down syndrome. No.
Damn.
Poor.
Jumo's gonna cry himself to sleep tonight.
I'm sorry.
That was a very eloquent way of putting it. I liked it.
Thank you.
Is that how you get Down syndrome? Kicked by a horse?
I figured it would be it had to be the combination of the two or something. I don't know. Maybe I don't. Can you be kicked retarded? I don't know.
It can kick you paratarded. I know that.
That is absolutely a fact.
Something a little more personal. I know me and Jordan will attest to. How does it feel to have males actually wanting to have sex with your stomach?
In my own self-defense, which someone in this room or this phone call can attest to, I'm not that big anymore. But yeah, it was kind of creepy.
Can I take your stomach out on a date?
Only if you promise to bring it back by midnight and use a condom.
Fuck that. Condoms. Who uses those?
I want to go bare belly.
I'm sorry, I don't want no belly button STDs.
You know what tummy aids?
Lantern.
I'm totally off track here. Sorry. Let's see. I think that's.
Have you got any more for us, Johnny?
I'm looking for 1 second. And of course, I lost my the email I had written any of these down.
All right.
So, as usual, I'm well prepared.
Yes, clearly. All right. Well, then let's as we get close to the end of the show, let's go through. We planned a top 5 for everybody. I don't know if anybody shared it with you, Eric, but we have all made our list of our top 5 Maverick or Storm moments, and we're going to go to Miller to start with his list.
All right. My number 5 is back from in show. Storm was actually a knight at the time. Tag team with Chevalier. And I convinced you to swerve him, which I know I had to twist your arm really hard. Swerve Chevalier. Or Chevalier.
Yeah, I think the conversation went something like, "Hey, you want to swerve Chevs?" Yep.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And I think it was good to have you in the NC, the stable we had there, but you ended up leaving for CWA. I think Mav ended up getting a different Fed. I think the
SNS?
SNS, and
Yep.
so you went ahead and took Storm to CWA, which made sense because probably had a lot of the guys you wanted to play with, and I'm boring to feed with, so you went over there. Just kidding. Number 4 moment was the IKI, the big feud, and just how much of a dick you were to Eve. I really liked that part of it. And Chance, that was fun.
Yeah.
I remember you actually tried to get me to join the stable really hardcore, and I actually thought about it, but I didn't want to swerve Alan because that was a good gravy train I was latched onto there. So
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
I decided not to, but I was upset Emmisary went inactive and kind of ended early because I really liked that stable, and I possibly could have seen myself joining it. My third moment was Fed Wars when SNS became a national, or was it already NGBW by that point, or?
I remember it being SNS, and I think it was right after that, and we did some angle where I sold the company to some place in Japan and made it NGPW, something like that. Yeah.
Yamamoto, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yamamoto something or other. I don't remember. Technologies or some shit like that.
Yeah. Static and Excess had already left show, and I ended up taking Barrister, and we had like all their titles, and we ended up taking them over to the SNS show, or throwing all the titles in the trash can and catching them on fire. And we just pretty much destroyed them in Fed Wars, and I loved it because Chevalier was left behind in show to go down with his little ship, and everybody enjoyed that. It wasn't even close. It was just an ass kicking. My number two moment was that the first Wrestlepalooza when they unified the Ultimate title and the TSOB?
Yes.
Oh man, I was really jealous of that. I wanted to be in that match. I was actually doing an angle where we'd taken over NGPW at the time, and it was called NCPW.
Yep.
And I tried to book myself against Angel Hunter for the TSOB so I could get into that match, but they wouldn't let me do it because they suck.
I remember that, and I think I was pretty much, I remember that, and I was an advocate for it, but I got shot down too.
Yeah, that was really cool, and I thought that was one of the things Wrestle did right by actually kind of recognizing CyberSlam and the Ultimate title and kind of keeping the title alive in a way for the guys that never got to win it, that really wanted to win it, for guys like Stone Cold and won it.
Oh. Yeah, right. Oh, Lord.
My number one Storm Mav moment was my the last NCBW run when Storm had taken over the Fed, and we did the whole Genocide is Coming campaign, and I was active for a month without ever actually posting myself showing up, and you ended up giving me a title shot on my first card, and I won the world title.
Yeah, I remember that. That was awesome.
And so my first match in 5 years, I won the world title, so that was pretty much enough fuel to get me going for a while. But it was just a great angle, and it kind of fizzled out a little at the end. But that was the birth of the Hank Hooligan gimmick and the
Yeah, I remember that.
It was just good stuff, and that was one of the funnest times I've had playing, really, because nothing was really off limits with you. It was kind of like FedEx is now, where a lot of commissions, they had a line they didn't want to cross when trying to get activity going, and you didn't have much of that. Obviously, you loved role play as a commish, and it usually worked.
I saw a line, I wanted to jump over it, and I remember when you came aboard, and I was like, oh my god, to me, that was like a coup. This is one of my friends for like the longest time, and I'm going to get him in my Fed, and this is so awesome. And you know what? I know how to get this guy instant heat because I'm going to take over his Storm, and I'm just going to throw everything. Here's a mega $1 million contract. Hey, what a title shot. It was awesome. I enjoyed it, and nobody ever bitched about it, which was even better. So that was a great angle. I really enjoyed that, and I really appreciated the fact that you came on board.
All right.
Hey, anytime you're a commissioner Fed, I made sure I was there for the most part.
Let's move over. Let's get Jordan's list.
No, Jeff, you go ahead.
Don't micromanage the top 5. Come on.
Are you finished there? I can certainly go. For me, I would say number 5 for me was Maverick finally coming on board with Federation X. It was something that Eric and I certainly had known each other for a long time. Didn't happen in the first go round, and the fact that he was really the impetus behind it happening the second time, and the way that he just really grafted Maverick to being part of Federation X, that was a big moment, I think, for me. Number 4 would have been that Superstar run. It was, everybody spends a lot of time talking about the run and how it went through the King of Wrestling, but even before the King of Wrestling, there was a lot of major title defenses against really good players going on, and it was the best string of role-playing I've ever seen out of Eric.
I appreciate that.
I would say number 3 on my list is Eric defeating me for the Canadian title in CWA in a match that we would both agree he won handily and dominated.
Oh my God, you're so full of shit. I lost that match, and we both know it. And the guy who judged it couldn't judge his way out of a bag.
Was it chain reaction?
It was.
Yep.
And I think we both told him too, right? I mean, it didn't really matter that I told him because I lost, but Eric told him. Eric's like, "You're so wrong."
Well, I mean, I just to throw in my 2 cents on this, I mean, he puts us in a match where we're supposed to joust each other. And my first post, obviously I'm not going to take this seriously, so I had Storm doing stupid shit like gluing himself to the horse and all kind of dumb shit. And then Jeff comes out and just goes totally serious and hooked me like you wouldn't believe, and all I did was follow his lead the entire match. And I told Shane, you must be off your rocker, dude. There is no way I won this match. Not even close. Not even close. And I will never, ever say I beat him in that match.
To be fair, Shane said rather specifically that because the story we were telling was about you, that means you won.
Well, that just shows that some people have no talent for judging.
Mine. Go ahead.
At least that was the important part, right?
Right. My number 2 moment was, do you remember way back when we first crossed paths, Eric? You were coming into one of CyberSlam's indies. I want to say it was IMA, and you were with a whole bunch of guys who were playing talk show hosts.
Oh, yes. I was Jerry Springer.
That's right. That whole talk show host invasion was the biggest cluster mess. And it wasn't necessarily well received all the way around. And really the only plus that came out of it is that, born out of a little bit of white heat that was going on, Eric and I started talking, and actually that's kind of where our first overlap and interaction in the game took place.
Yep, I remember that.
So that's where the relationship started?
Yep.
You've been going steady ever since?
We've been dating ever since. It's been lovely.
Absolutely.
Except for when you fight.
Yeah, except for when we fight. That's right. Except for when he does my entrance posts for me.
I'm sorry.
And for me, the number 1 moment obviously is the Alan Scott Storm feud that started with them being Victory, which was I think a pretty solid tag team for a very short period of time, and then blossomed into the whole Instant Karma initiative and just the whole trash talking going on at the beginning of the king of wrestling over the fact that I didn't take you with the first pick, and just the whole tension and build up being in separate brackets and actually getting to the finals against each other. That whole story for me, it would be easy for me to pick one of the Nighthawk matches or all the background story we've done with Nighthawk, but I really thought that run where you were at the top of your game, and the way we slow simmered that feud from the breakup of the tag team right through till the end of the King of Wrestling, I thought that was a highlight.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. If there was only one thing I could change about that, obviously it would be the major league screw up on day one. And I think that instead of getting my scrambling best, you would have actually got a lot better. And I think it would have been a tighter match had I not spent the next 2 days trying to fix the screw up that I made day one. But other than that, I agree with everything. Even our music that we used for our tag team was just all, it was really, really well done. And I had a great time doing that. So.
Absolutely. Okay. That's mine. What about price? You got a list price?
Of course I do. But once I'm prepared. My number 5 is actually not a Mav or Storm moment. It's a Dread moment. Because Dread was my favorite CEO. Because early on in his illustrious career, he pretty much flipped a coin, I believe, on the T3 SOB final where Haley and Techno tied with Ginger and Mortality, and basically gave us the option, hey, do you want to flip a coin, or do you want to do a tiebreaker match? No, I'm sorry, it wasn't flip a coin. It was, do you want a tiebreaker match, or do you want to do the tiebreaker based on, I think it was times or something like that? And me, being the honorable person I am, I immediately says, fuck no, I'll take the based on time so we can win. So I thoroughly enjoyed that moment.
Can I tell you real quick, interrupt and just tell you the brainchild, because I don't think I ever explained really well what the Dread thing was about. Bert had come to me and had expressed concern that I was too player friendly, because I always tried to mediate. I've always thought of myself as a good mediator. I've always tried to find the common ground to make everybody happy. He talked me into doing the Dread thing, and we need a CEO who doesn't take any crap from anybody. So I actually let him talk me into doing that, and again, one of the not so shining moments in my career.
I thought it was a top moment. But number 4 for me is something that occurred in my first, actually the same month where Storm was teaming with Chevalier. They were a tag team, and Static and I had gotten our first tag team title shot in Wrestle. And we had simmed, Chevy had simmed, and we were up, I think, up 5 matches. And I remember talking to Static saying, damn, we're going to win our first title. We got this. I log on maybe 2 hours later, and what do I see as Storm's results title? Super Clutch Storm Results. You went 5-0. You beat us by 11 seconds in time. And I remember being so fucking annoyed.
I remember that post too. That's so sad.
Super clutch.
Wow. Super clutch. Well, that's almost as good as Dave Diamond and his oozing clutchismo.
I love Dave.
Oh, I love Dave too. I wish I could just play him for months on end, but I can only seem to play him for about a month or two before the whole Jack Bauer thing goes south.
I used to hate Dave, but I've since gotten over that.
I know you didn't like Dave. And I know why you don't like Dave.
Well, listen, I was going to get to Dave in just a minute for my moment, so...
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, though. I'm sorry.
Okay. Number 3 is something that I know Geno can attest to, or Miller, whatever we want to call him. When you decided to hold the first ever CWA hockey game, which ended up being that was probably the most fun and bizarre role-playing event that I've ever been involved in. I mean, it was so much shit going on. We had such a variety of role players involved, where it was just culminated in basically Jesus Christ turning Geno into Sergei Fedorov.
Well, actually, what he did was he threw Geno off a cliff and just replaced him with Sergei Fedorov in a
That's
blonde
right.
wig.
Oh,
So
that was
I actually RP Geno falling off the cliff and going to have kept RPing Sergei Fedorov, believing he was in hell for touching Anna Kournikova when she was like 12. And that was his hell, just sentenced to play eternity of hockey with pro wrestlers.
Number 2, as Eric probably remembers pretty clearly, was sending static in excess on the Binky the Party Squirrel chase in my first month in show.
Binky, the dead party squirrel who came complete with a picture.
But that actually taught me. I'll tell you, that taught me not to take excess too seriously. I mean, it was a lot of fun. It was retarded, but it was definitely a lot of fun. And luckily, I had static role playing along with me, pushing the angle even further, because I probably would have burnt out after about 3 or 4 days. But instead, I think we kept it going for about 3 weeks. And of course, as expected, my number 1 Mav Storm Eric Lewis moment includes the Dan Hodge sleeper hold, which has given me laughs. Of course, that has given me laughs since the day I've seen that video. I've masturbated to it. I've cried to it. I've laughed to it.
Oh shit!
I've taken shits to it.
Eric, has anyone ever told you that you laugh like Inspector Gadget's arch nemesis?
No, actually, but thank you.
I still won't get that, so don't worry. But anyway,
Did he just snore? Did he just snore?
Video.
I think he just snored.
I think he just snored, yeah.
What? I was asleep. What did you say?
All right, Jordan, give us yours.
All right.
guys, I gotta get off. So, Eric, great talking to you. Hopefully, I'll be in touch.
Is it for sex?
Yeah, you too, man. Thank you. Take it easy.
No, it's for sleep, which is almost better than sex at this point in my life.
All right,
Take care, guys.
later.
Take care.
All right.
He's the one that wanted to start at 10:30.
That just means he's a vagina dude. That's all. I think we can all agree to that.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Right. So, top 5 moments. Let's see. I think I don't have really a particular order with them, but one of my favorites was when it was Sponsor Wars, and me and Storm were on the same team together. It was Team Larry Flint. I was the captain. I had drafted Storm because I was just curious to see how that would work out. I was rude at the time, and I usually hate roleplay events. They're fucking terrible, big old clusterfucks usually. But we decided to go to Disney World and make a porno. Do you remember that, Eric?
Yes. Oh my god, that was so awesome.
And the entire
It was the only time.
It was the only time you and I ever actually worked together as a team. Not only were we an amazing team because we won that based off of our posts, we spent the entire time trying to kidnap and otherwise get female characters to star in our porno.
And I got to be honest with you, it was one of those moments where we got done with that event, and I'm sitting there scratching my head going, if we could put aside all the bullshit, we'd be a hell of a team, because I had more fun working with Rude that 1 month than I ever had before. That was awesome. That's
very true. It was pretty amazing. My next one after that was when Emmisary, the following month, wanted to run back. It was you guys setting up the swerve, and as soon as he made his challenge, so I did propose really quick saying, well, no, we're not going to do that. Fuck you guys. And you sent me this message going, hey, wait, what are you doing, man? I thought we were going to go ahead and, run this back with him. And, you talked me into it, because at first I'm like, I'm not doing this. And then right after that, right when you talked me into it, you swerved me. And I was so, yeah, he talks, he was very convincing. And I'm like, all right, we're going to do this. Cool. Then he swerves me. And I was so pissed about it that I spent, this happened when I was offshore, my next 12-hour shift writing and rewriting my rant to him in response to his swerve. And after about 12 drafts of this rant, I'm finally happy with what I put up. I went go ahead and I posted, and Storm's only reply was, "Told you so." I was so pissed. Oh my god. I must have raged to Jeff, to Eric, to anybody who would listen to me about what a shitbag you were. I hated you.
Well, truth be told, there was another reason people called me manipulative. I was really good at talking people into doing stuff and swerving them, which I kind of, regret sometimes. But
Absolutely. Hey, at the time I was pissed, but really it was awesome in hindsight. And that whole month I was dancing to your tune. I'll be perfectly honest. I was just doing whatever, just reacting to you basically. The next one after that was when I was going after the Superstar title, and you had everybody believe we were getting ready to face Storm, and so I geared my posts towards Storm, not so much Inferno. And then right all of a sudden, you had Dave Diamond come out, and he defended your title for you while Storm watched. And at that point, I rage quit the match because I wasted half the posts on a character that I wasn't even fighting. And that was absolute genius.
I remember that too, because I could be wrong. I was either talking to Jason or I was talking to Jeff, and I remember I was telling him, like, dude, this is going to be so brutal because I'm going to make him totally believe I'm bringing Inferno out, and then I'm going to switch gears and throw Dave at him.
That was
the minute I threw Dave at you, I could tell how much it threw you off spinning. You didn't rage crit right away. You kept coming back a little bit. But yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to do, and it kind of worked. And plus I knew you were still working, and I believe weren't you offshore at that time too?
I had just come off of a 8-hour boat ride back home.
Yeah, so that was sneaky and it was kind of dirty, but yeah, that's what I was trying to do, and I was actually surprised it worked.
Look, I may have finished that match, but the whole time in my brain I'm like, fuck this. This is terrible. I can't. What am I even doing? Like, I was melting in because you killed my motivation. You took my soul there. It was great. It was great.
The correct term is douchey, by the way.
Douchey?
Yes.
Fair enough. Douchey it is. I can definitely go on with that. After that, the next moment is an NGBW where you posted this music video of two characters from Firefly that were supposed to be Mav and Kitty. And this is very dramatic, do you remember this yet, Eric? It was a very dramatic. You posted a music video of two people that were supposed to look like Mav and Kitty, and it was very melodramatic. And they had people challenging their love, and it had this really sappy song playing. And you posted that as a challenge to their, a statement toward their relationship.
If I remember correctly, I don't know what you're talking about. No, wait, I'm not going to lie. Yes, I know what you're talking about. And yes, because Kitty based her character picture off of the chick that was in Firefly. And yes, that goes down as another one of my top 5 most stunning, stupid moments. But yes, I remember that.
That moment was awesome. What are you talking about? It's my favorite.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. It's one of those things I wish people would forget. But thank you for reminding everybody. I'm sure YouTube's going to blow up with a search for that one.
Speaking of blow-ups, let's move away from this and start wrapping things up. I'll start with you, Eric. Is there anybody you want to blow up? Specifically, my question is, why did you ever want to work with Kitty Hawk?
I'm sorry. Why? What did you got cut off there a little bit? Why would I want to what?
Why would you ever want to work with Kitty Hawk?
Why did I ever want to work with Kitty Hawk? That's the question. I just want to make sure I'm hearing this right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I was commissioning and I had just taken over, the reason that I got involved with the character in the first place is because, I know the guy's got a problem with quitting, and, his ego can be a problem, and he gets butt hurt real easy. But I really was very, very keen on the descriptive styles that he used when he was conveying that character. I was really taken with the character itself because I mean it was just he has a very great way. He's a great storyteller. Honestly, I believe that he's a great storyteller. I believe also that's probably one of his main problems as to why he has issues when he loses. But sometimes I just get I can get pulled in by people in the stories they tell and the way, their descriptive natures and things like that, and I really like the style. And that's, I found myself wanting to role play with that particular character because of the way he, told her story.
So you weren't around when Kitty Hawk had superpowers and was writing about a glare all match?
I don't think so, no. That doesn't sound familiar.
Jeff can attest to that.
But he'd rather not.
All right, so
Oh, trust me, I was there though for the whole abortion that was Moxie because I was told, oh yeah, well, let's play this up and this can be Storm's daughter, and I went, well, oh okay, because Moxie seemed normal, and then Moxie turned into Kitty 2.0, and I just kind of like my stomach turned, and I went, oh shit, great, now this is associated with my character.
yeah, how did that happen?
I don't know. She ran into Rude, and you turned her out like you did with all those other characters.
Look, okay, I didn't talk him into it. That was his idea. I just kind of went whatever.
I get that. I know that. But, I mean, let's be honest. The guy, there's somewhere deep inside, that dude's a real sadomasochist. I mean, he just likes to abuse his characters. And, he had all these great plans with Moxie, but then, Rude popped back up, and suddenly it was, like I said, it was Kitty 2.0. And I even told him that at one point. I'm like, you're telling me you're going to do this, but now I'm watching another character who looks, for all intents and purposes, is Kitty with Katy Perry's face. So.
What can I say? I tracked the email she bitches, I guess. Does anybody else have any final thoughts or blow-ups?
It's not really a blow-up, but I'm going to go ahead and ask Eric if we can get Storm's commitment for the King of Wrestling in September.
Oh my God.
We're going to build this up to be the biggest King of Wrestling of all time. Of all time.
We are.
Ever.
Hank Hogan might even show up.
Nah.
Look.
Once in a lifetime, and that already happened.
All right, well, let me ask you a question before I answer that question. So it's supposed to be the biggest King of Wrestling ever, right?
Right.
That means people like Genocide are going to be there?
Oh, yeah. I think I see where you're going. To argue
people like
Jason Storm versus Genocide in the first round. Guaranteed.
Rude's already there.
Let me ask you another question. Is guy like maybe say Alan Scott going to be there?
It's possible.
What about Rude?
He's already active. In fact, Jigsy Brown is active.
Stan Daniels has committed to the King of Wrestling.
So
is Manowar.
Stan Daniels.
This shit's for real.
Oh shit! Wow.
Oh, Manowar.
Oh my God! Really?
The Kansas Kid has committed.
September, huh?
September.
Hey, you know what? Actually, thank you. You know what? Because I never got a chance to say anything. I only did like 3 posts with the guy. But I want to take the opportunity, like right now, on a show where hopefully he'll be hearing this. I was like extremely impressed with that kid. I thought his posts were awesome. If I was still the commish, I would sign that kid like as fast as possible. He's really good.
Who?
Kansas Kid.
Oh. He's actually been around for a long time. Gentleman. Wrestle Hall of Famer. Yeah,
Really?
I believe so.
Well, shit.
I think so. Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
well, that would explain
that. In
answer to your question, barring that I'm not stuck in Siberia someplace without an internet connection, I'll do it.
Just say you will, and if you no-show, we'll do like the Stryfe thing with excess.
No, if I no show, I want you to from now on claim for the rest of my life that Storm suffers from OV syndrome.
Or Hank
Can we do
Hooligan syndrome. I'll start counting you out.
Nah. I don't want to be in that class. I'd rather be in OV class. But yes, barring that something's not going on that I can't do it, I would definitely show up, and I appreciate the invite. Thank you very much.
All right, everybody. Jason Storm committed for the King of Wrestling 2012, the King of the World. You realize every title is on the line, right? This will be winner take all. If you win, you will be the world champion, the icon champion, the champion of every federation, every promotion, rather.
Well, that would be a hell of an accomplishment. But I got to be honest with you, if I'm doing this, the three people I'm hoping to face would be Geno, Rude, and Alan, because I owe Alan a little payback.
Damn, he wants to run it back.
Hold on.
Anytime.
He thinks he's getting past the first round?
Yeah, you're
No,
free, dude.
I don't know who if I could make it past the first round, if I could pick a dream list of three people to face in a tournament, it would be Geno, Alan, and Root.
No,
I
no
just
specific.
told you.
Wait, Jason
I
said
just
he's going
told-
to face you first round.
Yeah, so all you have to worry about is the first round.
Jason, Eric just called you free.
He's free.
You said you're free.
Uh-oh.
Damn. Eric just put you on blast, Jason.
Geno and I have a long-standing feud that we have to finish. Hell, you know what, dude? When my laptop comes back and I finally get the stupid thing fixed and I get set back up, hell, I might actually pay a visit to FedEx just to try it again and see what happens.
Maybe you should buy a new laptop. I hear you can get them for free.
Oh, well, Jeff, the one that I had, I told Jeff the hard drive crapped out on it, and I called the company that day, and it was the last day of the warranty. So they said, send it in, we'll fix it. I said, shit, it's fine.
All right, well, since it's too late for Jeff to talk, I'm going to go ahead and close it out this week. Let's go ahead and close it out with a big snore.
And with that, we will wrap up our Running on Tangents two-part series with Maverick.